I'm Mr. MegaManFan. This is the PC Engine Files, and today we are looking at an Naxat soft game called W Ring, the Double Rings. Now, ostensibly, it's not that unique among TurboGrafx and PC Engine games. It is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, which is the genre that the system is known for best and probably handles the best. And in the realm of those games, it's pretty typical. It's got the type of progressive power-up system you probably learned at an early age from Gradius, or if you didn't, you've learned it from future shooter games that have followed it. So you start out with an auto fire that goes in a straight line and a stream of bombs that drops down and to the right ever so slightly. But as you pick up the power-ups dropped by enemies that you've destroyed, you can level up two different options. You have fire modes that are color-coded. Red is the option that adds a fire along with the player, and you get more that surround you the more of them you pick up. Blue is a long laser that moves with the player's ship. Purple is a spread shot, think Contra's spread gun. Green gives you a larger attack that can hit more of the screen, and orange gives you additional bombs that go up as well as down, also slightly at an angle. So there is no need to fret when playing W Rings, because you don't even have to worry about hitting a second button to select the weapon upgrade. Once you pick it up, based on the color code, it's automatically added to your loadout. And each time you take a hit, you lose a power-up, and if you don't have any power-ups, you lose a life. And if you lose all your lives, it's game over, man. Pretty standard stuff for a shooter. But the thing I would say makes W Ring notable is it's one of those low print run, high demand games that basically, if I were to put a pin in it, would be the reason emulation exists, the reason preservation is important, and the reason you'll want to try something first before you buy it. Because looking at the current values this goes for while doing my footage for the game, it reaches astonishing amounts even at the low end. $123 plus $13 shipping, and that's before sales tax is added. $156 brand new, all the way up to $324 new and sealed from the United Kingdom. So you're not getting this one for less than $100 in just about any form. Maybe a loose hue card, you might be able to pull that off, but I highly doubt it. It seems to be a very rare game, and shoot-'em-up genre games are coveted by PC Engine and TurboGrafx collectors, so that only makes matters worse. Low print run, high demand, and then it becomes sort of cyclical and it feeds back into itself. You get the situation you have with games like Sapphire and Koryun, where everybody's heard of them, very few people have them, and the more people that want the fewer copies there are out there, the price just keeps going up, and the word of mouth spreads even further. It becomes one gigantic loop. And then into that loop steps somewhat shady individuals who offer reproductions that aren't marked as reproductions, and they go into circulation and dilute the available pool with false copies that eventually, at some point along the line, end up in game stores, and they have to debunk them and say, it's a very good looking reproduction, but it's a reproduction. And I fear that at some point, those experts will themselves go out of circulation, because we all age out over time, and then these fakes will be disseminated among the real things with nobody there to authenticate them and tell the difference. So we're left with a situation where it needs to be preserved and dumped, because then at least future generations can play it without spending exorbitant money for something that may or may not be real. And frankly, I can't justify a reason for spending a high dollar amount on this game in the first place. It's decent. It's not a legendary shoot 'em up. This is not a R-Type 3 or a Gates of Thunder or even the previously mentioned Koryun, where it's kind of wacky and colorful and became infamous because it was so widely unavailable. There's a special type of shoot 'em up that you can, either because it's part of a legendary series or because the game has become a standalone that is legendary in and of itself, you can say, well, maybe someday if I had stupid amounts of money, I won the lottery or something, or I got an inheritance I wasn't expecting, maybe I'd go buy something like that just to put it on the shelf and be happy I have it, and play it once in a while and be happy I have it, and show it off to people and be happy that I have it. But you can't really do that as an average gamer for over $100 games. That's more than a new game costs on PS4, Xbox One, or Nintendo Switch. Even the upcoming PS5 and Xbox One Series X, those are probably going to be $60, $70 games until they become bestsellers or get put on sale. So you're spending more for a 20 to 30-year-old game or more than you would spend on a new game for a new console in 2020 or 21. Hard to justify the math. So my advice to you would be, try it before you buy it. W Ring is good. It's not super great. It's just okay. I think the best thing actually is the fact there's a menu option to scroll through the soundtrack, and I find track number 13 in particular to be a really funky jam. Whoever composed this particular chiptune, you get some props. Sound design, thumbs up. Gameplay, pretty average, but not terrible. W Ring the Double Rings. If it has a plot, I don't know what it is, and I've never found it anywhere. It's just find the enemies, shoot the enemies, and have fun.